This is the Big Rig, Patty Maroon. You're listening to Missin Curfew.
What's Missin Curfew? It's when you kind of play guilty, but you show up.
How nice is a green light on the road, though? No practice tomorrow, no plane, just go.
Scotty Upshaw in the clear, and he scores! Right in front, scores!
A few laughs, a little bit of fun, and obviously a lot of hockey talk.
You're listening to Missin Curfew.
Fellas, coming to you from Hall Pass Media in Newport Beach. This is Missin Curfew. Obes, Jay Swish, Richie Fella. Happy New Year, boys. How we feeling?
Ooh, happy New Year, boys. I'm bounced back. I'm good to go. I'm going to keep some time here and reflect, and it was a busy holiday. But how you guys doing?
I love that, Richie. I mean, you said you had a big New Year's Day Eve shaker, and you're a true professional. You rebound, maybe take 3 or 4 days off, reset the system, reboot, get after it. My New Year's Eve kind of looked the same. I was on a hung bird yesterday out of Chicago, ORD. That is O'Hare International. And yeah, I mean, I'm just still shaking out the cobwebs today. But you know what? Not playing guilty, feeling pretty good. And 2025, boys, Missin Curfew. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, let's go, boys. I went for a New Year's Eve IV after we did our record. After we recorded the podcast, I was feeling pretty good. Was watching Team Canada USA. We'll get into that. And then I opened up this nice ball of Camus that I've been just saving for I don't know what reason, and started letting that breathe. And fuck, was it tasty. And I slugged down that whole bottle, dusted off the black suit with the Tom Ford Tide, and walked across the Bay Club and got after it. So it was fun, but I'm right back in one, Rich. I'm sick again. I'm back right in one, buddy. I'm hurting.
I mean, you look good, though.
Thanks, bud.
You look good. I haven't seen you in a suit in a while. Yeah. What size is that, Bubba Gunners?
That's the 47 long there. Yeah, that's. I actually had to bring them in when I first got retired. I had to go buy some big boy suits, and then a couple shots of Ozempic, had to bring them in. So fit a little bit better now, but they're definitely not the. I remember I had my suits that I played in my closet for a long time after I retired, a couple years, and then finally I looked down and I went, "This is never time to toss these bad boys. I'm never gonna fit in those ever again." So I tossed them probably a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Little 47 long and strong, Obi.
Yeah.
Hey, that Camus bottle you were drinking, I think that was a 2016 edition. So I'm not getting that with my bet, right? We're just going.
No, you're just getting right off the rack. Standard ball of Camus, $75-$80 American, coming your way.
Yeah, right from Total Wine. Hey, how are you? I like it. I'll take that any day of the week, baby.
All right, boys. Well, before we talk about the World Juniors, let's go Winter Classic recap here. Actually, you know what? Before we get into that, let's talk about a little post from our boy Jay Swish. I'm obviously love following you on social media. Saw a post from you today, which sparked me a little bit. It said something along the lines of a dry January. Is that just remorse after the holiday season? Even my boy Richardson was having a little remorse there with, having too many cocktails, Jim Leahy style over New Year's. But I know he's not going to go to the depth of dry January. I know that, Belleville, Ontario native. Are you really going dry January on us here, buds?
Yeah, I don't know, Obi. Like, sometimes you got to challenge yourself. And I was just thinking, I've attempted it before. Dry January quickly turned into a damp January, usually probably about the 9th or 10th. And then it just turned into a full-on fucking monsoon. I mean, we're talking wetter than Rachel Starr in a Brazzers set. Like, it just gets the hell, the hell gates, the floodgates are open. So I don't know, man. I'm thinking about it, like sitting here. It sounds like a good idea on January the 2nd to attempt the impossible. But we'll see how it goes. I'm going to take it day to day. I'm not married to either side of it, but, if I could do it, I mean, is it a feather in my cap? Probably not, but I was just thinking maybe just to reset the screws a little bit. It sounds like a good idea, Obi. Whether I can follow through with it, well, who fucking knows?
It's a good idea on paper, eh, Rich? It's a good idea on paper.
Yeah, I like the idea. I'm going to try to take a little bit of time for myself too, but I'm going to try to get back at the gym. You start on that track, and then we'll work on the other stuff from there. But it's a month is a long time because there's always something. You know how it is. Living in a nice weather place too. There's always seems like there's something going on where you're like, oh shit, I guess I'll have a couple drinks.
I guess I'll have a couple of drinks. Well, the thing about January is, and by the way, when you get back in the gym, you mean like right into F45 workouts or just a little yoga session, or what are you going to get right into some deadlifts, or what do you do?
I got to go right into the fire. I got to go in and work and sweat, so F45 will be calling you here soon.
Those are tough.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
No picnic.
Those are not easy. I used to do the Orange Theory workouts out here before started my swimming days, and then I'm like, I'll mix it in F45. I think I did it once. I came out there. I was like, I'm not.
you can set your own pace too. Like you don't have to go,
I was setting my own.
ease in.
I was setting my own pace. Don't worry. I was getting lapped by every housewife in Orange County. They're like, "Get out of the way! Get out of the way!" I'm like, oh, "What's this? Core side planks? All right, fuck. Here we go."
We're doing burpees again.
What are you-
Fuck that.
Burpees? I didn't do that when they were paying me $2,400. I ain't fucking doing a burpee. You nuts?
The worst though. So sometimes they'll make you go halfway through your set. Like you finish your set and instead of resting, they'll take you out in the parking lot and do a full lap or like a running lap. I'm like, are you guys out of your mind right now?
Dude, I remember I used to do the Orange Series just to, I was back in those days single, looking to maybe meet an Orange County housewife, divorced with about 50 in the bank. And the instructors would come over to me and try to explain to me, like, hey, you got to get a little deeper here. Like, finally, I was like, hey, listen, I'm in here for a sweat. I'm paying you to be here. I don't need you to come over and tell me to get a little lower on my fucking one-legged RDL here, all right, sweetheart? I mean, I'm giving you my $49.99, whatever it is. Like, leave me alone.
Give me everything I got out here.
It's not like, I ain't getting any lower. This is as low as it goes here. And then you get on the rower, fucking, the rower's no joke.
See, Orange Theory though to me, F45 is a lot different because it's not as much cardio. Like the Orange Theory to me, like the running and all that stuff was too much on my knees and my leg and stuff. But that's why I switched to F45 because a little bit more like weight training that in the studio I go to here. So which I like.
Swish Dog, you ever tried one of those Orange Series in Scottsdale? Tyson Nash, doesn't he own those things?
He used to own a bunch, yeah.
Yeah, I do Orange 3 a decent amount. I was on the F45 train for probably almost a year, Obi. I was going there 4 or 5 days a week. The one actually kind of right by me and Richie. I was going there a bunch, and then I kind of got sick of it. I actually go to a place now, Richie Babe, it's Body in Old Town. Now it's a spin it's a spin-off of F45, but the talent level and the clientele is a little bit higher than the F45 I was going to. So I'll pop in there once or twice a week, and then I kind of do my own thing, little hot yoga, hey, how are you, and throw around the weights. So yeah, I'm accustomed to F45. I used to hit that frequently.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely got more shin splints out of Orange Theory than I did fucking kills. I'll tell you that. I was going in there to try to get some kills. I just came out there with shin splints. All that poor treadmill. When I was done fucking working that baby over, you had to check the shocks in her, Richie. They were that. It was just
Obes, it's hard to wheel though at a workout class though, because you don't know if you should do it before when you're kind of rolling out, after you're kind of gassed and like they want to get out of there. I don't know. Yeah. I've always found it's a tough operation to go into a workout class and really try to finagle it that way.
Yeah, you know how it only worked out for me a couple times, and it was right where I used to live in CDM, and I'd be out on the weekends for drinks or whatever, and I'd be like, hey, don't you take Orange Theory? And then boom, that was, but I never actually in the class because I was huffing and puffing too much and then when I was done, I was embarrassed. I wanted to I'm like, just leaking, it's a crime scene. I'm like, let me out of here. Didn't even stay for the stretching, Rich.
Throw some knuckles around. Hey, good job out there. Good work. Hey, good sweat.
Atta girl.
Going for the ass tap. Yeah,
hey, atta girl. Way to go. Hey, good effort there. Way to leave it on the treadmill. What level did you get to? You were coming pretty good there.
Yeah, I saw you at about 7% grade there. You're kind of cooking, eh?
What was the incline at there? 5 and a hook or what? You were just giving her.
You were clipping that row machine. What was your pace, like 2:14 for a mile? You're going quick.
Yeah, what's your secret? So, well, F45, Richie, get in there, buddy. Maybe shoot some content for the boys. Hey, we'd like to see that. So, speaking of content, the Winter Classic, fellas. Listen, I've been hard on these games for a while, and I'm going to throw this one right in the mix. I thought it was a stinker. If it wasn't for Foligno and Schenn, it would have been a complete waste of time. But listen, there were some good parts about it. The anthem, the pregame stuff, all that was great. But the actual hockey, boys, to me, I think this game has lost its luster. I don't have the answer of what else they should do. I don't know what the ratings were, but if you're just a typical non-watching hockey fan and you flip that on, Rich, I guess I'll start with you. Like, I don't think that's going to be like, wow, I cannot wait to watch another NHL hockey game.
No, I think we've talked about this before. I've never got to play in one. Wasn't a huge fan. The best part of it is the pregame lead up, your family stuff. The practice the day before is fun. The morning skate's even a little bit of fun because it just feels like you're outside doing it. But I wouldn't want to go to a game. I don't think the fans after you go to a game, they're like, oh, I can't wait to go back and do it again because you can't see half what's going on. You can't hear it. It's all weird. But what I think would be a really cool concept to get away. Like I like the outdoor thought process, but I think they should do like a Lake Louise, Mystery Alaska kind of game. Set up some. Who cares about build some some temporary stands, so they're right on top of the people. Have the backdrop. make that kind of cool, and then you can film it a little bit better instead of having these big stadiums where you can't see anything. I think that'd be a lot cooler experience for everyone.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, even that Lake Tahoe game, it got a little bit of criticism because it was raining, this and that, and whatever. I just think in terms of, they always say, and Gary always says, and Gary Bruce Bettman, the commissioner of the league, always talks about it's a gate-driven event. It's meant for the spectators there. Yes, that is true, but at the same time, when you go in there, there's not a ton of good seats, especially at a baseball field or at a football field. I'm with Richie. I think you should do it in terms of something, making it cool, Lake Louise style, Mystery Alaska, where you can kind of put it in a setting where, I don't know if you're charging like a pay-per-view type cover event to watch it on TV, and then you have some people at the game. Something cool, something unique, because I do think these games have lost a little bit of their luster, especially over, dating back to 2008 or 9, wherever the first one was there. So something to spice it up. It seems like they have 15 of these games a year, and one being the Winter Classic, the Stadium Series, the Heritage Game. It's just like, uncle, can we do something different?
Yeah, like what about like at Lake Louise or not Lake Louise, sorry, we just said that Banff for somewhere close. You don't think the Calgary fans would drive up and watch the game if they could build some temporary fans?
For sure.
And it'd be sick.
And I'm with you. There's got to be some fans. Some temporary fans would be great. But for me, I got things down here. Like, I don't know if this is possible, but why not a game at Mount Rushmore or a game at the fucking Grand Canyon or something, like where you build it around these spectacles that are in this country and north of the border as well. And then you get more camera angles and you get more behind the scenes stuff. Like, we all know our game is great live. Like, anytime I go to a hockey game, which is only in Vegas when I go with Pick and T-Rex and the boys, but you get in there, you're like, this is great. But how can we make our game, Jay Swish, better for television and get more eyeballs on it? I don't think the Winter Classic and Stadium Series are helping us grow on TV, and that's what we need the most.
Yeah, 100%. And just like Lake Louise with that blue water underneath, and you're kind of snapping it around the ODR and getting back to the roots of what hockey is. Maybe putting a game up in Whistler, doing something like that, where that'd be a nasty little venue. I mean, I just think there's different ways to make the setting and the aura just feel more like a legit outdoor game. And I don't know the logistics on this thing and how you'd make it work in terms of bringing in revenue dollars. But I do know that they do need to change it up, and some of these ways to spice it up that we're kind of saying, I just think ultimately like that would just bring such a cooler experience and shine more eyes on the league ultimately.
Yeah, I agree. It was a spectacle before the game started. Chance the Rapper, he wasn't exactly crispy, was he, Jay Swish? He might have had a couple long nights in Chicago. He wasn't projectile, is that how you say? He wasn't really giving it up there, was he? He was trying, I think.
Projected his voice, it just seemed all out of whack. I mean, what's his one song like? No problem, one more label trying to stop me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know. It was okay. I mean, listen, rappers, a lot of them use auto-tune. You need different things to go into that voice, but for a live performance, it wasn't perfect. However, I did see him walk in with his team-issued jersey to a place in the West Loop called Au Cheval, which probably has the best burger in Chicago, if we're speaking on facts. And he walked in there with a bird. I don't know if it was his wife, professional tryout, but he did walk in there, so he was still geared up. It was kind of cool. I didn't say hi to him because I want to fanboy him, but getting back to the performance, yeah, it wasn't great, Obi. I thought the Smashing Pumpkins, though, were pretty good, and that was, I would say, the performance of the night, if you will, even if you're talking the game.
Yeah, it was cool when the boys were walking out and Smashing Pumpkins was wailing away. I missed that. I saw it on social media. I turned it on just in time for half of the national anthem, and I'm going to get to that when we give this guy a Labatt Blue, but I got Mount Rushmore up right here, boys, and I'm telling you, if you built a fucking rink, I mean, could you imagine? God bless America. Game outside of Mount Rushmore. Like, I don't know what the temperature is right there. Is it South Dakota? Where the fuck is Mount Rushmore?
South Dakota, right?
South
Yeah,
Dakota.
it's South Dakota. Imagine just going bar up, so crossbar up, and that thing lands on the top of Honest Abe's head. Are you kidding me?
Could you imagine?
That press hitting Honest Abe?
Takes a piece out of his cheekbone. Boom. Oh, hey, someone get up there and fix that.
You take a piece out of Honest Abe's chin because you go bar up. That would be so sick in warm up, skating around, just looking at the founding fathers. Hey, buddy, how you doing? There's Store. Hey, Washington, fella, how are you, bud? Hey, yeah, is that Alexander Hamilton? Who is that? I don't know, fella. Let's take a look.
I just think like, and Rich, you nailed it with Lake Louise, and I don't know. I've never been to the Grand Canyon. Is that possible, or am I just talking completely out of my ass?
I don't know. I have no idea. I've never been there either. I've flown over it, and I don't know if that's possible. I think like we just did one in Aspen. That was cool. Very cool. You could bring the Avalanche in there. It's not that it's easy to get to. They could do one in Vail. They could I don't know. Something's got to change. But I don't know about the Grand Canyon Opes.
Might be a tough ask, eh? Tough to get the fucking gear down. How do you get the gear down?
Fucking 3-day hiking out.
Trainer gets all the way down. Where's that fucking stick back? Oh no, we left it all the
You got the chopper up there hovering over the Grand Canyon. You're just tight roping everything down.
Send the chopper back. We forgot the fucking blades for the boys here, right? No edges, but yeah, maybe the Grand Canyon's a bad idea. I just remember Johnny Drama pulling his car up there. Victory! When he woke up after fucking a bender. But I just think we need to start thinking outside the box a little bit. I love all your guys' ideas. So, I did see one thing before the game. We got the big rig coming on here later. He was playing two-touch. I saw Bedard playing two-touch in his flip-flops, boys, and first thing I thought was, I don't love that, and I don't love his compete level in the two-touch game, Richie. Never wear flip-flops, and if you do, I'm coming after you right away, just out of pure lack of respect for the two-touch game.
No, and we had a rule in Arizona, and I'm like, you can't play without, you don't have shoes on.
Yeah.
Because then that's always an excuse. I couldn't get to that one. I'm like, well, because look, you don't have any footwear on. Get some footwear on. Get some rubber heels are on. And we took it we took it serious. We like you were soaked after playing. I had more fun doing that than playing half the time. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you got to get some. You got to get some Adidas.
I mean, sponsored by who? Who sponsors them? Sherwood, Lululemon. Just get a pair of Lululemons on out there.
Yeah, and it shows that you're getting ready for the game. Like it's a warm up.
Yeah, the assist he got in the game was typical kind of. I'm always picking on Bedard here, but he comes in, blows a fucking edge. I guess I got to give him credit, Swish. He did get it over to. I can't remember who it was who slid it over to Bertuzzi, but that was the only point he had in the game. I just think, and here I go again bagging on him, but you're supposed to be the next greatest thing, franchise player in Chicago. Here it is, the Winter Classic. And to be honest with you boys, besides that, secondary assist he had, I know they got spanked, but I mean, he didn't really show me a whole lot in the game, boys.
No, I mean, even his quote after, I like that he's, people spend their hard-earned dough to come watch you and you kind of lay an egg. But at the same time, what you say after doesn't really matter what you do in the game. And I just thought, I don't know, it just seemed lackadaisical. We were texting a little bit in the group chat with the fellas, Obes, and I was just like, it doesn't even look like he's trying right now. I'm not trying to be mad or, put this kid in a bad spot or just, chirp him nonstop. It's like, it didn't look like he was even trying out there. It's just like floating around.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? You make a great point, Jay Swish. A lot of his comments he's made in the media in the last month or so because of, I think he's got a 5 or 6 game point streak going now, but the way he's handled himself, it's making me like him a little bit more. He's owning up to it that, when it was about the Four Nations, how he didn't belong to be on there and the quote you just said. So Richie, to me, some of his comments are maybe realizing that, okay, I was the first overall pick. However, I'm not playing at the level I should be, and I need to be a whole lot better. That's what I'm starting to realize, and I'm starting to like this kid a little more because he's owning up, saying I'm not nearly good enough as I should be.
Yeah, and Obes, I want to just wait. I know I agree with this kid's supposed to be the next best thing. He is only 19 years old.
I know.
So, what were you doing at 19?
Getting drunk in Kingston.
Exactly. What I mean? So it's we want to pick on this kid at 19. We want to pick on him. Let's wait till he's 22 or 3.
Yeah.
When he's been 5 years in the league. I mean, it's not easy. He's in a big market. The team stinks.
No,
he's trying to take on a lot. There's a lot of pressure. Second year is always harder than your first because you got expectations. So I mean, I don't think he's playing great, and he's a better player than he's showing. But he's only 19, so I don't want to keep ragging on him.
No, and you're right. And Gretzky, the greatest player ever, and arguably a better guy, said, what do you get when you become 18th? When you're 18 years old and you're the best player on the planet, you get drafted first overall and you go to the last place team, right? So he is only 19 years old. I mean, if you think about it that way, he could still be playing World Juniors. We could use him. We'd have more than fucking 6 goals in the whole goddamn tournament. But Rich, I'm glad you said that because I am hard on the kid. But like you said, he's only 19 years old. And when Wayne Gretzky's saying that, that's all that really matters. But I just like that he's taking some credibility here in the media and saying, I'm not being good enough, No, that's a big step. And that shows the maturity of a 19-year-old kid because most kids aren't even thinking about that. So, no, it's good on him. Hopefully, he has a good second half and get some juice going for that team because that could be a long few months for them. Yeah, to answer your question, what I was doing when I was 19, I was on ICU in my billet's basement trying to, text girls is what I was doing. Remember old ICQ? Yeah, ICQ. Remember that back in the day? The old dial-up service, eh? Let's see who's online. Let's see who's online here. What we got? Let's see what's going on.
What was that like, boys? Was that like a instant messenger? Let's say,
Oh, yeah. ICQ, baby. Get her going. Hey, what's going on? What's up? How you doing? What are you saying? You on the game Friday? What are you doing? It's not... Hey, once again, the veteran with the Stanley Cups, right? Bedard's only 19. Obi, lay off him for fuck's sakes, would you? Boys, that was great. We'll be right back. I'm Missin Curfew. Welcome back to Missin Curfew. Fellas, it's the Missin Curfew Dog of the Week. I'm going to start with two of them. First of all, Chris Tanev, a guy Richie played with in Vancouver. I mean, I think he only had one tooth maybe left in his grill, and that one is now gone. Did you see the size of that tooth he spit out, boys?
It was disgusting.
That was one of them.
Snaggletooth.
Like, that looked like it came from fucking
Sticking up in his side.
up in his sinuses, and he spit that thing out, came back and played. So, Chris Tanev, you're the Missin Curfew Dog of the Week. But, boys, that was one of the grossest things I've seen as a hockey player.
I can't believe this guy. I just got to talk about. I got to play with him in Vancouver and Calgary. Probably my favorite defenseman I've ever played with. Most underrated player I've ever played with. And I thought he might have a sniff of that Four Nations team, by the way. But anyway, he's just a warrior. He'll block any shot, never complains. He could be so banged up. I guarantee he didn't say one word about his mouth after the game.
Yeah. And
just going in and did his thing, didn't complain. I'd be sitting there complaining for 3 weeks about it.
I'd be asking for some kind of painkiller immediately too. Hey, I'll take a prescription of whatever you can give me here. Give me a full prescription, 30 days. 30 days.
The trainers in Calgary, Obes, they're like, this guy doesn't feel pain.
Yeah.
Like they think his pain tolerance is like he doesn't have it. Like it's crazy.
It's so funny you say that. Like when Chris Tanev came to his first camp, it was going to be my third year in Vancouver, and I ended up getting shipped out to Nashville. But anyways, I watched this kid come in. They were high on him. I was like, I remember talking to Biexka and Willie Mitchell and whoever, being like, this kid's never going to play. I mean, they're high on this kid. Like, he can't even skate. He's got terrible style. Like, this guy's going to be a fucking national leaguer. No chance this guy plays. And Richie, you put it on my radar a few years ago about, you're like, oh, watch him be able, he can make a play. Watch when he can break pressure and this and that. And I really started watching him more, and he doesn't have the best style, and he's not the flashiest guy. But like you said, Rich, when he's under pressure, he can make the right play, and he always goes tape to tape. He's a really good first passer.
Yep. He is, man. He's underrated. The little defensive zone pop plays, little soft area plays he makes are so good. I love playing with him because he always made that little right play. And also, like, he just try to watch him see if he ever gets beat one-on-one.
Yeah.
His stick and his positioning are amazing. Like in practice, it was a joke watching, like, even like a high-end guy trying to get past this guy one-on-one. He just embarrassed him. He just a little poke and he's gone. It was really impressive, man.
Yeah, boys, the pride of RIT. I mean, yeah, I've always loved watching him play. And the one thing is he went one and done there. It's like, it came out of RIT, Rochester Institute of whatever, Poly, whatever fuck it is. And then he goes and, plays a little bit in the American League, and then he's right up. And he's, like Rich said, like every time he goes back for a puck, he's always first touch, and he can also round that net so well. He's strong and makes those little 4-foot, dink passes. I've always loved watching him play. And I do think, I've heard it through the grapevine a little bit. I think his wife saves all of his chiclets, so he'll collect them, and then I think puts them in an area. So maybe at the end of his year, maybe he tries to put those in her. Maybe get the veneers, buddy. You know what I mean? Maybe.
Hey, listen,
he's a beauty. I don't know if she does that. Yeah, maybe.
I'll tell you what. In his retirement package, someone's got to just pay for him for a whole new set. Like either if it's the NHL alumni or the guys he plays with. But he shouldn't have to pay it. He deserves a nice, shiny, white set of veneers because that guy, like you said, Rich, he took a full clapper right in the face and didn't even bat an eye. Spit the tooth out, came right back.
He's a warrior, man, and he's going to spend some time in that dentist chair when he's done.
Yeah, he sure is. My second dog of the week here, the captain of St. Louis Blues, Blade and Schenn, up 5-1, Winter Classic. Game was over. Could have just enjoyed the win with the boys. Goes out and asks Nick Foligno to fight. One of the toughest guys in the NHL. Two great captains. It was just funny that there was a clip before the game of them talking about how they're going to shake hands after the game, and then sure enough, fast forward a couple periods and they're chucking them. So Braden Schenn, you're the Missin Curfew dog of the week. And fellas, that St. Louis Blues hockey club, I believe right now is 3 points out of a playoff spot. Cam Fowler, we're going to get into him and get this guy Labatt Blue. But Rich, I'll start with you. What are you feeling on that St. Louis Blues hockey club? It's kind of feeling like a playoff team to me, bud.
They're starting to play like one, that's for sure. I mean, I've watched them a little bit more since Monty got in there, and they've been playing a lot better brand of hockey. But I mean, Braden Schenn, I got to play with him. I think it was he just got drafted to LA. It was his first year, and then we ended up trading him. But this kid, you could tell right at 18 years old, 19 years old, this guy's just a gamer. I played with his brother twice. They're both just kind of that meat potatoes, Sasky boys that are just, dad of a fireman. Or sons of firemen. They're just well-bred kids, tough as nails. And I mean, to be up and ask to fight, even though you're fighting, Foligno, who's tough as nails, and you're probably going to get beat, you still stand up as a man and show up. So, I mean, I love Schenner. Just a great captain.
Yeah, he stepped out and he took a shift for Neighbors, whoever's on that left side, and went out there and just basically said, I want the memory of tucking in a Winter Classic game. I mean, that's as nails as it gets, Obi, in terms of, my book, and just going out there. The team's up 5-1. He's like, basically, like, just give me one because I want the picture and I want the memory, to show my kids, my buddies. And that's just a good Sasky fella right there in Braden Schenn.
Yeah, that's well said. And like you said, he wanted the memory. So he felt like a UFC fighter walking back into the dugout. When it first happened, I was like, wow, good for him. Foligno comes out and asks him. And then you see the clip where he jumped on the ice for, I think it was supposed to be Neighbor shift. And he went, I'll take this. Comes out, asks him to go. It's freezing. It's windy. I mean, fuck, it's unbelievable. It's such a feather in his cap. And you talk about Jake Neighbors. I'm starting to like this kid a lot. I like his game. And Swishy, I like his character, and the stuff I'm seeing on the content side that's coming out about him just seems like a glue guy and plays the right way.
Yeah, I mean, he was up for the Cy Young last year, like 27 goals, 11 assists. So he had a great season last year. He's one of those guys that as a utility player can play up and down your lineup. He will fight. He'll do anything for the fellas. And by all accounts of everyone in that dressing room, especially good friend of the show, Jordan Binnington, he loves this kid. He says he's just one of those old school beauties. He's an Edmonton product. And one of those guys that is kind of a throwback player. And ultimately, one of those guys that Doug Armstrong always seeks after. An old school kid that is still, willing and up and coming to even improve his game. So I really liked him. He's a good player, and just a little content pieces that have come out. Just he seems like a beauty. Like chirping that Torpchenko kid in the locker room before. He just seems like he has good charisma. A guy you'd want to have a beer with, Hopes.
Yeah, exactly. And it seems like they got some swag in that dressing room. And Cam Fowler, who we're going to get to and get this guy a beer, he seemed to have found his game back. He's playing with Pranko. Monty's brought some swag. I mean, they're an easy team to cheer for, boys. You know what I mean, Rich?
What about Dylan Holloway? Has 14 goals. Edmonton wouldn't mind having him, would they?
I know. Listen, I thought, and this goes to show, there's many reasons I shouldn't be an NHL GM, but one of them, I thought that was a desperation kind of signing. Broberg and Holloway by Army. I'm like, Army, you're reaching here, bud. Like your team's kind of missed your window, and I don't know if these guys are the players. Broberg looks like a fucking young Victor Hedman at times out there, and Holloway Hollywood is absolutely flying. So then he brings in Cam Fowler. It's like, I mean, if you're in that dressing room, Rich, you're like, this GM's unbelievable. We're right back in. We're right back in this.
Well, you just got a kid. So this kid's on pace, for he's almost 30 goals. He's 23 years old. And like you said, Broberg looks at times like he could be a real good player. So, yeah, I mean, for me, watching Holloway, like I watched him all year last year, and he was, had up and down year. And then in the playoffs, he took off, and he gets like, holy shit, this kid's really skilled. And I think that's what St. Louis saw. I'm like, maybe we could steal this kid and he can turn into something. And I think he really has. So, man, Doug Armstrong knows what he's doing, man. He's got them back kind of in the mix, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and
that's a sneaky rebuild, Obi, sorry.
Right?
On the fly.
It is.
Even that Joel Hofer, that goalie, that young goalie playing behind Bitter, he's really good too. Like, he's legit. He'd be a number one real soon here.
Yeah, and like I said, I thought they were kind of in a rebuild or a retool, and they're right back into it, and they're an easy team to cheer for, right? And Monty helps with that. Everything you see coming out of the social media side of what Monty says to the boys after the game, the way they're playing, it's an easy team to cheer for. So, Swish, what do you got for your dog of the week, fella?
Yeah, lastly on that, I just loved when they were giving Cam Fowler the player of the game, the 1,000th game he played, that outdoor game. They all just raised a beer, Obi, and they said, hey, a little cheers for the fella. So I thought that was awesome. It was cool. That's just old school hockey, St. Louis Blues, a beer drinking town there. So love that. But my Missin Curfew dog of the week, I'm going up to the chin of Calgary, Alberta. Nazem Kadri came out the other day and basically gave an interview to all the local nerds there reporting for, the Calgary Sun, whatever it may be, TSN, and, just basically called all the experts. Like, they're like, hey, you guys how does it feel waking up in a playoff spot on the first of the year? He's like, oh, yeah, that's what all you experts had predicted too, eh? So he's just like giving it back to him. He's having a great season. He's got 14 odd goals, and he's got 26 points in 37 games. So that team's scrappy. They're fighting for everything right now. Weegsy Babe, friend of the show here, playing well. And Obi, I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs up there in Cowtown, but it's been a pleasant surprise nonetheless going into the new year for Flames and all their fans, especially Princey.
Yeah, Princey's loving it up there. Hey, Princey. Princey just hoping they're not going to break his heart, though. He's just sitting there going, this team's going to break my heart. But listen, I got to have a few with Nas. I knew Nas from when he played in Toronto with Loops. I partied with him the odd time in the summertime in Toronto. But last year they came out here for their second or third last game, and had a couple beers with him and Weegsy, baby. And he had that chip on his shoulder then. Like I said to him, I said, fuck, you guys were so hard to read this year. Like, you cost me money. You know, some nights you look good, other nights you look bad. And he said he likes Calgary and that he almost wanted to prove people wrong coming into this year. And that's exactly what they have to do. And you can put me on that list, Richie. I mean, I especially after they let you go as a scout, I thought they were really going downhill after that. But I honestly thought they'd be a lottery team. First overall, I thought they'd be that kind of team this year.
Hey, get it right. I quit, eh? Oops.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, you quit. Yeah. Resign. Sorry, resign. That's what I meant.
No, I got
resigned.
Just touching on Calgary, Obes, though, they got some really tough decisions to make. This is supposed to be a rebuilding team. They're in a playoff spot. Like, Nazem Kadri's a good guy if you want to move him. So they're going to be in a tough spot coming in. Like, they got some really tough decisions to make on players. What do? Do we finish in, that last playoff spot, or do we miss the playoffs and we get another mid-round pick? It's tough. It's tough to make those decisions because you can't, you don't want to show your fan base that you're kind of, giving up. But
no, they're making.
They didn't think they'd be in a playoff spot this time. I guarantee.
No, they're making Connie's job harder. He's like, holy, like I'm sure he's loving it, but at the same time, he's like, I had a plan here, and you boys are throwing a wrinkle into it.
Well, that's the thing. If you hang on to these guys, a guy like Nazem Kadri, and you don't make it, it's not easy.
No, like I look at their team. You got Kadri, Blake Coleman. Rasmus Anderson on the back end. Like, those are three guys that jump out to me right now that could get you something, right, Rich? That could get you some high picks and maybe a couple prospects.
100%. I mean, Raz on the back end is a legit top 4 player. Coleman's won 2 cups. He's a great checker. He scored 30 goals last year. Like, great leader. I mean, they get some players, but you gotta make decisions. And they're not going to be easy for Connie.
No, and listen, I love Hubie. Jonathan Huberdeau, I love him.
He's playing good right now.
He's playing great, and he's changed his game. And I saw a quote that he's changed himself into a power forward. And Hubie, I love you, but God, has the NHL got soft when Jonathan Huberdeau's turned himself into a power forward, eh? Like, I mean, Hubie, I love you, buddy, and I'm glad you're doing well, but...
He's a power forward?
They said that he's changed his game into a power forward in the NHL. I'm like, Jonathan Huberdeau, or we're clarifying Jonathan Huberdeau as a power forward? I love you, Hubes, but holy, if he dumped the puck in my corner, I wouldn't be like, oh, here comes Hubie after me. I mean, he has changed his game, and he is playing well. And I don't mean to bag on him, Rich. I just seen that quote, and it just made me realize how soft the league is. But he has adjusted, and he is a good player. And all joking aside, I love you, Hubes, but I don't know if you're a power forward, but he's made adjustments. You know what I'm saying?
He's been hot the last.
Yeah.
He's leading the team in goals, I think, and he's playing. He's been really hot the last few weeks, but by no means is that a power forward. I guess the days of the old Legion of Doom line.
Exactly. Lindros or Huberdeau. I mean,
Leclerc and
yeah, exactly. And the thing about like Milan Lucic or Hubie coming down, but the thing about I'll give Hubie is he started going to the net, boys. And this day and age now you can go there and you're not going to get abused by Prongs and Hatcher and whoever it was back in the day. But I think he realized a little less is more, and Swiss, just go to the net and you're going to get rewarded. And in all seriousness, I love you, Hubes, and he's really turned his game around and turned himself into, like they say, a power forward,
Isn't it crazy, too, now these days? Now, listen, I wasn't a guy throwing the body out there anyways to begin with. But isn't it crazy, OB, as a forward, you can basically just drop your shoulder and go to the net, and you don't even have to look anymore because more times than not, 9 out of 10, maybe 9.5 out of 10, you're not even going to get hit if you drive that far post. It used to be if you were driving that far post, well, the guy on you might hit you, but you got to be worried about the other defenseman on the weak side coming across and absolutely blowing your brains out before you even get to the midline of the net. These days, there's no repercussions. You just drive the net. Who cares? And then you crash into the goalie, and it's either goaltender interference, you get a penalty, or you score.
Drives me crazy, dude. Every night I watch it, it drives me absolutely bonkers. And I just the way that they can come in and just stop on that blue paint. I used to take pride in protecting that blue paint. Like you weren't coming and standing there. You may be able to beat me wide. You may be going to take a stupid penalty, but you're not standing in front of the blue paint, Rich.
No, you weren't.
No, and I'll tell you what, another kid who I like, and help me with his name here, Martin Pospot. How do you say his name? Love this kid's game. He would have got his eyes pumped shut in our era, though. But he just goes out and does whatever he wants.
Well, I mean, we kind of talked about it when we were in the meetings this summer with Calgary. We're like, we're gonna have to get someone to protect this guy. That's kind of because he runs around. He's gonna get killed one of these days, right? Because he's hitting guys. He's dirty. He slew foots, and he pretends he's not dirty sometimes, right? I don't know if you see some of the stuff he does, but
I see.
He's kind of like a Matt Cook type player. good Belleville boy.
Yeah,
but
Cookie,
kind of
good
that slimy, greasy, cheap shot kind of player. But he plays hard. But he's gonna. The old days, if he did this, he'd be. You know how it would be.
Oh, yeah.
Someone's gonna take your head off.
I take him on my team, though, and he's an effective player. He's got good skill. He fucking forechecks hard. He gets on that F1. He goes to the net like Swish is saying. But, he would have had to answer the bell a few more times. But, hey, congrats to the Calgary Flames. They're proving me wrong. They're proving everyone wrong. Keep it going up there, boys. Fellas, DraftKings, presented by DraftKings. Stay tuned because you hear more about DraftKings and all it has to offer throughout the show. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Fella. Top titty boys, I couldn't play up there in Canada. You got to have a Canadian phone number up there to play. I mean, the rules up there, it's just like, what? Fuck, I just want to play fantasy DraftKings here. But Linko 2041, the updog played. He mixed the game in. He was 9th, Princey 22nd, Kyle 25th. So, boys, get in there. Stay under the salary cap. Every Saturday night is top titty. It's fun. I'll be back in the mix this week. So, get in there. Moving on to the DraftKings lock of the night. The Missin Curfew squad, boys. We're 25-9 on the year. That would put you in first in any division in the NHL. We're officially making you money. I'm 10-2. The Updog bounced back at 6-4. Jay Swish is 5-1. And our Stanley Cup winner, Richie's 4-2. Richie, we'll start with you, buddy. What do you got for your DraftKings lock of the night?
Lock of the night for me is it's in kind of a bush league pick on my part, but I need to win, and I don't know if I'll get it, but we'll see. I got the Avs over Montreal in the Mile High City on Saturday night. Avs are playing real well, especially at home. Montreal has won 3 in a row, so they're probably due for a loss. So I'm leaning on in that direction, but that's my lock of the week.
I love it.
Love that. I got OB and Richie, babe, for my Saturday night lock of the week is the Man Jose Sharks at home versus the New Jersey Devils. The Devils are struggling a little bit as of late. Man Jose, one of the most fun and just exciting teams to watch, especially with Felabrini, Will Smith, some of these guys, Jake Wallman doing the gritty back there. So that's a matinee on Saturday. I'm taking Man Jose and Obi. If I'm a betting man, I got to be getting the action on that one. What do you think that's going to be, fella? That's got to be plus money for sure.
That is going to be plus money. You're going to be looking at like plus 180 or something like that for the old Man Jose Sharks at home against the New Jersey Devils. Must-see TV, man. Celebrini's playing great. We touched on him earlier on the week. I like that bet. I like that value bet, Jay Swish. And last but not least, for my lock of the night, Jack Eichel against his former team. The stinky Buffalo Sabres are coming into Vegas. You can only hope that Buffalo's got their rookie party planned, right, to give them something to look forward to, because I think it's going to be a long night at T-Mobile. I'm probably going to take a money line and puck line, but this is the lock of the night, so it's only money line. I got Jack Eichel and the Vegas Golden Knights against the stinky Buffalo Sabres, fellas.
Love to see Eichel put up a little hat trick or something, wouldn't you, against them?
Right?
Just to rub it in their dirty faces, you're saying.
I'll tell you what, Ike's owes me a text here. He's got a little cricket on, like, quiet on me here. I asked him a little question regarding Missin Curfew, and he's gone silent on me. So Ike's, if I can text the guy back, would you?
A little icy, eh?
Ice, the crickets. I'm just going to do the
focusing, buddy. He's focusing. Big match.
I'm just going to send him the cricket emoji here and say, fella, let's go, boys. Let's go, boys. So, DraftKings, baby, get some skin in the game. Always gamble responsibly. Moving forward, speaking of gambling, the Team Canada has been a complete gamble this year. Swish, congratulations, my man. I owe you a nice ball of Camus. Now the ball's in your court to send me over something that is double XL in size. Around the waist, it's got to be a 40. Anything around there, you can find the Big and Tall store, fella. Send it my way. I'll wear it on the pod or wherever you want me to send it. But what did you think of the game from the perspective? Listen, New Year's Eve game, the fans were great. What did you think as being an American-born guy? I got to be happy with the outcome, obviously.
Yeah, I was kind of in and out like a fiddler's elbow watching that game. I was kind of popping around. I was having dinner, having some drinks. So I caught a little bit of it. The best thing I saw, though, was that Cole Eiserman scoring the go-ahead goal, and then kind of going by Team Canada's bench, chirping that Easton Cowan, kind of giving it to the fellas. To me, I like that. I like when the Americans are a little bit cocky. They come in, especially into Ottawa. They get it done. The boys look good. Cole Hudson as well on the back end, a nice little pass to make that game 2-1. It was a good finish there. I'm just blanking on the kid's name. But, yeah, I mean, anytime those games are come down to the wire a little bit, there were some bad penalties here and there. But, yep, on the good side of it. Shout out to David Carl, too, getting it done again. So, DC, keep going, looking for a gold medal, not settling for anything less, Obes.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they got more skill. They're quicker. Their power play is more effective. Their goaltender played great. Augustine, this is his third World Juniors, right? He played great. We did have some chances. Richie, we got a little greasy. We tried to scrum it up after the first. Still not physical enough. Still not enough pucks to the net and traffic. And if you're not scoring goals, you gotta get greasy ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love the scrums and stuff here and there, but let's maybe get a little physical between the whistles.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't fight in these tournaments anyway. So, like, stinky glove to the face is good and well, once in a while here. But, like, Canada hockey, get it in, forecheck, speed, hit, make some plays, get loose, and be confident. Like, I'm just not seeing it. I'm seeing a lack of confidence. It's just a little concerning, but, we'll see where it goes. America looks like they're the favorite for sure.
Yeah, no, it's we're squeezing the sticks, and when the States went up 1, then we finally got one on that power play through the seam. One timer was nice, and we go back, we take a fucking dumb penalty, and America scores to make it 2-1, and then the final straw was to make it 3-1. I knew we were done then, but listen, Easton Cowan, I was hard on him earlier in the week. That penalty he took, the guy dumps it and he turns and he just drills him into the boards. From a guy who's taken a lot of dumb penalties, that one was about as dumb as it gets. Richie's right. You can't fight this and that, but you got to play whistle to whistle physical. But maybe this woke him up, because I did see an interview from Gavin McKenna saying, we hear people in our country are doubting us, and this is going to fuel us. And you could put me on that list, Gavin. I'm doubting you fucking guys. However, I did bet you tonight against the Czechs. But, Rich, maybe that's what they need. Maybe this will be a wake-up call and they can get back to that Canadian hockey. But the way they've played in the round robin, I don't even know if they can get by the Czechs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll try to throw it on tonight and watch it. But, people are going to doubt you when you don't play good. I mean, yeah, that's what it is. And I hope they respond. As Canadians, we want to see our country do well and play hard. And I don't mind, if you lose, you lose. But I'd like to see them play like actual good brand of hockey. If they're going to lose, you don't want to see them playing this, this kind of brand. So, I'm cheering for them.
Yeah, leave it all out there, boys. Leave it all out there. And like I said, win or lose, you hit the booze. Jay Swish, get this guy a Labatt Blue.
Presented by Labatt Blue Light, the pristine Pilsner. Enjoy your beers together so you can live life to the power of we. Always enjoy responsibly. Beer, Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. That's Chippewa Street, baby. Woo!
Wow, that is 93-1 coming at you right there. Get this guy a Labatt Blue. Cam Fowler, congrats to Cam, 1,000 games, 2 goals in the Winter Classic. Jay Swish had mentioned it. They lifted up their beers after the game. That's hockey. That team, to me, has a lot of mojo going. They got a nice fit of old school with the new school skill. Monty's come in there, but Cam Fowler's a great kid. He deserves it. And all I can remember is at the start of the year when Jay Swish first started competing for Missin Curfew, and we threw out the People's Insider that Cam was maybe not going to report to camp, and then I had the Ducks PR guys texting me, well, listen, it wasn't at camp, but you were on to something, Jay Swish. We knew he was leaving town. That's what we were getting at, eh?
Yeah, I mean, listen, all press is good press. He wanted to get out of there ultimately. He probably wanted to find the right fit. And, whether he was throwing that to his agent, relaying it to the team, I trusted my hashtag sources, and we threw it out there and got ultimately Missin Curfew on the map going into training camp, Obi. So it's good that he's found a home. And quickly, just on the Blues, isn't it crazy what a coach with some swag and some moxie can kind of ignite into a group? And we're seeing it firsthand here. I mean, it's a little thing, Obi, but when you just open up and crack open a couple beers after a game and salute your newest member of your team for 1,000 games and the player of the game, man, that's winning hockey right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Love that. Yeah, that's how you get a little respect in the boys that want to play hard for you.
Yeah, I just remember the last couple of years when Tampa would be playing Toronto. Like anytime something in Tampa would happen, like Stammer broke the record for this, or Coop would get this, they'd be drinking beers. Then you go over to the Leafs, do something, and they're fucking spraying water on each other. I was like, well, who's going to win these series? I mean, these guys are drinking beers. These guys are spraying water on each other. I mean, let's go Lightning here. So congrats to Cam Fowler. The anthem thinger for the Chicago Blackhawks, man. I love it at the United Center. The other day at Wrigley Field, it was unbelievable, boys. When he points at that flag, it gets me every time. The flyover, get yourself a blue light. And then last but not least for me, Richie, you touched on it. My former teammate, one of my favorite teammates, Marty St. Louis. The Montreal Canadiens were just in Vegas. I hope they had buckets of Labatt Blue Lights because they just went in and beat the Florida Panthers, the defending Stanley Cup champs in Florida. That cost me money. They went into Tampa and beat John Cooper and the Lightning. That cost me money. And they were down 2-0 in Vegas and came back to win 3-2, which also cost me money. So, fellas, get yourself a Labatt Blue, and at the same time, fuck off because you're bending me over right now.
Just right up the hoop, right up the chute. So I'm going to go with my get this guy a beer, and it is to a guy on the Vancouver Canucks. He's battled through some different things, some personal issues, some health in terms of just, some injury to start the year. But Derek Forbort, boys, good glue guy. Richie knows him from the days in Manhattan Beach. The other night he fought Ryan Lomberg in the Lamborghini. Chuck and duck fella, squared up with him right off a defensive zone draw. So I just wanted to give a Labatt Blue to my boy Derek Forbort for chucking him, answering the bell. And you know what? Lamborghini, what he lacks in size, he does not lack in his bicep size. So that's a strong fucking fire hydrant of a player. Derek Forbort, obviously a lengthy fella. That was a decent bout. But Forby, for answering the bell, I'm giving you a Labatt Blue, brother.
Yeah, and listen, sticking with him real quick, Rich, before I turn over to you, they need Forbort. They need him. Like, I know he's been battling some injuries throughout the year, and I don't think they so much got him for the regular season. Like, yeah, you want to plan him and Big Darnay. But if the Canucks can get things figured up there in the soap opera land that we call Vancouver right now, Forbort's going to be big for them come playoff time. So I hope the Canucks can get in the playoffs because I love Rick talking and I want to go back up there for playoff hockey. And if they do, Rich, that Forbort's going to be a big piece come playoff time, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's such a good dude. First off, he's a great locker room guy. Everyone's well respected, well liked, but he's been banged up for a couple of years now. So for him to get back and playing and being healthy is a big step. But he's a great PK guy. He's a big body. He plays old school, kind of in your face, get out, clear the front of net hockey, which Talk loves.
Yeah.
So I think if he can just stay healthy and this team can kind of figure it out, he's going to be a great asset, like you said, Obes.
Yeah, that's well said. And speaking of old-time hockey, this guy, back up the Brinks truck here at Missin Curfew, Keaton Middleton. This guy got a 2-year extension with the Colorado Avalanche. 13 NHL games, 0 points, 136 PIMs. Those are O'Brien stats right there. But listen, I like this guy. He's old school. He's big. I mean, he's not sexy at times out there, but the little time I have watched him with the Avalanche, it's exactly what they needed. And boys, it just made my heart feel good, or a tear to my eye, that there's still room for a meat and potatoes, fucking old school Middleton. So back up the Brinks truck. They don't even tell what he got. So it's not that big of a number when the term's not just or sent out. But man, honestly, I'm glad to see a stay-at-home kind of journeyman get a 2-year extension, fellas.
He's a big boy. That's his brother's in Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
Yep, Jacob Middleton.
No, this kid's playing pretty well for him. He's been in the minors for a long time, kind of scrapping and clawing to try to get some good quality games in. And I like this kid. Yeah, he's big. He'll do whatever it takes. I don't know, does he scrap Obes or no?
I haven't seen him chuck him just yet, but he doesn't play quite as physical as his bro in Minnesota. But he just has that old, he's big, he's long, like Swiss was saying about Forbort, and he's meat and potatoes, and he keeps it simple, and he tries to protect the blue paint. But no, I could be wrong because I haven't obviously seen every Avalanche game, but I've yet to see him chuck him, and I would like to see him chuck him.
Yeah. No, yeah. What is he, 6'7"?
Yeah, he's beast. He's old, and it just kind of looks like his bro, right? His bro's got that mustache, he's got the beard, he's just kind of like tough-looking guy. So I'm glad those guys are still getting jobs, boys. Milk carton time here at Missin Curfew. My boy, this one hits home. Gabriel Landeskog has been on the milk carton for way too long. Last time we saw him, he was hoisting the Stanley Cup over his head. I've heard some rumors throughout the course of the season in Colorado that it wasn't looking good, boys. He was out there for morning skate this morning. He's obviously not playing, but Richie, we'll start with you, a guy who played against this guy, and 2 years is a long time. Do you think we're going to see him back? And it's got to be a good sight that he's out there for morning skate with the boys snapping it around.
Yeah, I hope so. This guy is such a good dude, man. I got to go to a wedding with him one time and just sit and talk to him. He's just such a class guy. And 2 years is a long time though to be out. I mean, I would be more excited if he was in a regular practice. I don't know if he is or not, but morning skate's one thing because it's kind of that just to get some touches in. But I don't know. I can't even speculate on what. But if they could use him, he's still battling. The fact that he's still trying to play after 2 years shows his perseverance. But I'm not sure what to say on that because it's just, that's a long time.
So will this be his if he misses this full year, will that be 3 full years?
3 years.
Yeah, 3 full years.
God.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to respect the guy trying to grind and come back, though. It's like the setbacks that he's had and just trying to persevere, and that's the heart of a champion, clearly, Obi. But it's just in terms of like, even that he's out there right now, just he's a fucking dog.
Right? And like, I don't know if this is a stupid question or not, but like, he got his Stanley Cup. Like, was it worth it, Rich? I mean, you got one. You get to look at your ring every day, and you get to go every 10 years. Like, obviously it was worth it, but like, he had just signed an extension. He's still a young kid. He played through this knee injury when he knew he was mangling it to win a Stanley Cup. But obviously the answer to the question is yes. You can't look back and be like, I shouldn't have been playing because they got it done.
Yeah, I mean, it's an impossible question to answer at the time. It's obviously right now you're like, oh shit, he probably has questioned it. I mean, a million times trying to fight back from this injury, but in the end, I think he probably did what was in his heart and was the right thing for him. So, I mean, I'm really hoping. I'm really pulling for this guy. He's all time. So,
he's the best. He's the best. I remember he came in and he's like Swedish-born kid. If we take him second overall, he speaks better English than me. I'm like, look at this kid. He's perfect. Right? Great hair. Right? I'm like, this kid's got it figured out.
Nice human too. Like,
Great
how
human.
good a guy is he? Just a great guy.
He's the best. So, Landy, I love you, buddy. Hopefully this is a sign of things to come. Last but not least here at Missin Curfew, before we get to the big reg, around the National League, Patty Waugh was up to it again. Down 2-1, face off in his own zone. He says, fuck it, I'm pulling the goalie. Well, I mean, I'm all for like, but I think you got to maybe just fold your cards there and wait to see if you win the draw at least or something here. No, get to the hash marks.
Short, they were it was 5-on-5. They were shorthanded, right? So they pulled in. They didn't even have 6. It was 5-on-5.
Okay, my bad. Okay, so he, instead of being down 5-on-4, he said, "I'll pull you, even up the numbers here."
Even up the numbers, but I mean, the face-off. These guys, the Islanders take the draw. It was kind of a scramble draw, and they blow the zone.
I know,
and they don't even hang out to kind of see what happens, and then Toronto makes a good play and scores. I've never seen that in my career. Have you guys ever seen it?
never.
No.
Patty don't give a fuck.
No, Petty doesn't care.
No, Patty doesn't care.
No, but when he pulls the goalie with freaking 11 minutes left in the game, they're out down 4-1. Like, I don't know.
See, we were talking.
I don't know if I agree with it or not. I don't know.
I listen. I would have loved to play for Patty. Unfortunately, I got traded. But I mean, I don't. I guess it maybe makes a little more sense to even up 5-on-5, Rich, if you're only 30 seconds left. But when I saw them down 2-1 with 30 seconds left, I thought they were still even Steven. I didn't know they were shorthanded. I was like, you got to at least wait to see if you win the draw here. You're only down 1 goal, but he doesn't care what people think. And, we had a curfew call asking us about if you could trade coaches. It's too bad Patty's in Long Island because I think he's a hell of a coach. And he's just, like you said earlier in the week, Rich, Lou has those guys that he's really loyal to. And for whatever reason, he hasn't made too many moves. And I don't think it matters what Patty really does in Long Island right now, just with the way they're playing. You know what I mean? With the personnel they got, I guess.
Yeah, it seems like an uphill battle from my eyes anyway. But I think, he's trying to do something. He wants to win. If you're down 4-1, I saw him when he was down 4-1, pulled it with 11 minutes left. I don't know if it's the right call or not. You're going to lose the game 99% of the time anyway. Like, what's the difference between 5 or 6-1? And
I'll tell you who it was good for. Whoever had Leafs puck line was like, "Thank you, Patty. Thank you, Patty."
And those cookie monsters, Marner and them, and they're going to sniff one out.
Yeah. Speaking of Marner and the boys sniffing it out, Austin Matthews will miss his 6th straight game tonight. This is getting concerning, boys. Upper body injury. He's been practicing, but I mean, Jay Swish, I know you know him personally. We don't have to get into all that, but this has just got to be concerning for the Leafs, when it's continued to linger on and your best player cannot play. And selfishly, it's going to suck because I don't think he's going to be able to play 4 Nations, and that is brutal to Team USA and the whole tournament.
Yeah, that's what we call a Chelsea dagger, Obi, if he's not able to go in that one for the 4 Nations. But in terms of his long-term health in this season, I mean, he had a quote even a few days ago where he came out and said like that it might be something he's got to deal with for the rest of the season. And who knows what the timetable is on this injury now. We don't have to speculate what it is, but it is, something that he's dealing with, and it is a concern for the Leafs, and not only Matthews, but the rest of the team. So we'll see, and we'll monitor this moving forward. But in terms of, Craig Berube and even, Brad Tree living there, are you shopping around maybe? Are you thinking about that come March? I don't know. I think it's too early to tell right now, but 6th straight game, who knows when he's going to be back? He could be back sometime in the next 2 weeks, or he could be out until after the 4 Nations Cup. So I think it's one of those injuries where you don't really know, and then, you maybe get back into a game, Obes, and you kind of have a setback again. You're like, fuck me, like, what do I do to fix this?
Yeah. And I just think when it's longevity, right? Like, I think we've heard some rumors that it maybe is back. Like, if it is his back, look at our boy Lupul. Loops' back is fucked, it ended his career. And if you're Austin Matthews and you're thinking, we talk about Gabriel Landeskog, you got to think longevity here too if you're Toronto Maple Leafs, right, Rich? You can't have your franchise centerman. If it's something bad, get it taken care of, I would say.
Well, yeah, it's different when you're in the finals and you got something you're trying to win a cup. And this kid's obviously a superstar. I don't know what it is. It doesn't seem like it's great to me. It seems like it's something pretty serious. But again, if it's a back or anything, you got a long career ahead of you. And I mean, Toronto just can't think of short term. They're thinking about this guy and trying to win multiple cups and get high standard of playing. So I don't know. We'll see. Again, never speculate on what it is, but I don't have a feeling just in my gut that it's not great. So hopefully, he's a great kid and I'm, good Scottsdale boy. So I'm always cheering for him.
Yeah, and you could put back right in there with groins. Like if your groins or your back's fucked, like you could go out there and try to give it, but you can't play. You can't play, and you don't want to have a lingering bad back. Ask Mario, ask Tiger, ask Obes. You don't want to have a bad back because she slows you down. She slows you down big time. She slows you down on the golf course, on the pickleball court. She slows you down, boys. She slows you down. So
no kidding.
Zach.
All right, yeah, that too. Get on top, babe. Get on top. All right. Get on top and let's go to work here. When it rains, it pours in the National League. It's the best league in the world, but it's also the most unforgiving. No one feels sorry for you. New York Rangers, Chris Drury and Peter Laviolette suck on this now. Shesterkin on IR. I mean, I've been in situations where things are going bad, Richie and Jay Swish, and I don't know what's going to happen in New York. I'm hearing some rumblings of JT Miller and this and that. We'll see what happens, but this just shows you that when things are going good, it's great. But when things are going bad, Rich, it just sometimes piles on you,
Oh, yes. It can be, like you said, a very hard league sometimes, and nothing's going right this year for them. So, I mean, at least they got my boy Johnny Quick in net. Yeah. He'll do his best to try to, kick him out like he was back in the day. But things aren't going well, and that's going to be a team to watch, obviously, in the next couple months on what they do, because they got some big decisions to make, and it just seems like everything's just piled on for them.
Dude, Swishy, before I turn over to you, there was a clip today 7 months ago, someone scoring a goal in the playoffs, an MSG barn rocking, the white towels going buck diddy, their goal song's unbelievable, and then you fast forward 7 months and they're just in one fella.
Oh my God! And did you see that clip that Princey put out there with Midnight City by M83?
Oh, yeah.
Hank Lundqvist getting on the bird, little 24/7. Oh, my God. That was like when that team is sick, dude. Oh, there's no better place to watch a game and just even see the buzz around the city. It's like, fuck me, man. MSG. There's nothing like it.
Did you see that clip? Hank came off the bird with his tie completely fucking normal, and it's like buttoned up, and his tie was perfect. I'm like, did he not just, like, I used to take that tie off right away, throw on a pair of a t-shirt and shorts, but not the king, huh?
He does not take a day off fashion, does he?
Oh, man.
And just those shades he had on, too, and he had the half Windsor knot going on the tie. It's just like, oh, my God. That song, too, it's like.
Oh, M83 banger.
He's the Maserati.
Matted out Maserati, heading back into the city. I was like, what a league. What a fucking league.
He pulled that Maz right up to the jet bridge.
Oh, yeah.
The red carpet was touching the Maz's tires. It's like he's just right on the fucking bird. Look at the king go.
See you, boys. I got to beat traffic here. Let's go. So, Richie, Swish, love you, boys. You guys are beauties. Speaking of beauties, we got 3-time Stanley Cup champ, the Big Rig, Patty Maroon, coming at you next on Missin Curfew. Welcome back to Missin Curfew. Richie, Jay Swish. The man, the myth, the legend. 815 matches now. We all know about his 3 cups. Anytime you turn on any kind of TV, social media, he's around right now. The Big Rig, Patty Maroon. Thank you, fella, for taking the time. I know it's been a busy time of year for you, my man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Happy New Year's, boys. Hopefully it was good and got to hang out with some family. But yeah, it's a busy time. Everyone's still in town from the Winter Classic, so I just woke up from a nap.
I was just saying, how nice is a night? I used to love a nice nap after practice. I was usually probably a little hung cheese, get home, nice nap, shake it off.
Oh, there's nothing better, especially when there's a nice dark room and you just go in there and just lay your head down. You don't want to talk to anyone or see anyone for like an hour. But yeah, man, it's the best. Honestly, now with chasing my daughter around, I can't really take naps anymore. So I actually brought seriously, I needed a nap today bad.
I'll tell you what, Patty, don't retire them, bud, because you don't get them when you're done playing.
No?
No, not as much as you want. I'll tell you that. So keep her going, bud.
I know the pregame naps are where it's at. That's the only time I can get away. It's like I get a free nap. But when I'm home, it's hands on right away.
Keep that engine going.
I love the pregame naps.
Well, Big Rig, thanks for joining us, buddy. I believe this was your second one you played in, right? You played in the one at Dodger Stadium, the Stadium Series when you were part of the Ducks, did you not?
Yeah, I played in 4.
Oh, wow. You've played in 4 of them.
Yeah, I played in the Heritage Classic, 2 Stadium Series, and now the Winter Classic.
Wow.
Yeah, Edmonton Heritage Classic. That was my second one. LA Dodgers, the Dodger Stadium for Anaheim, and then Nashville.
Oh yeah, with Tampa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got banged up with you after that game. You guys were in the Canadian tuxedos there, right? That's what you boys wore. Yeah.
we got pretty banged up that night.
That was a great night. That was a
great night, actually.
Fuck, 4 outdoor games. You are a veteran fella. 3 cups, 4 outdoor games. I mean, what a veteran you are.
That might be a record.
Yeah, I mean, I've never played a Winter Classic, but I don't know what the difference is, the Stadium Series or the Winter Classic, but maybe it's like 2 rivals, maybe the original 16s, right? They usually do that. I don't know. But this one was unique and cool. Wrigley was awesome. It was honestly one of the best experiences. You know, when we walked out to the clubhouse and Smashing Pumpkins started playing, and I love Smashing Pumpkins. It was just sick. Like, you sat in the dugout, you watched a little bit, and then they called our names. He's still singing, and the fireworks are going off, and like the flyover. I mean, that's just America, man. Flyover, American flag, national anthem going. I was like teary-eyed because it was just the history behind, you know, Wrigleyville and the Hall of Famers that came out of there and how old school it is, and you know, the national anthem. Obviously, the Blackhawks national anthem is best in the league. And to have everyone doing that, clapping, and you know, the flyover, it was just special.
Yeah, I'm with you. The national anthem, you know, listen, I had some tough losses at the United Center throughout my career, but that anthem there is unbelievable. And you teed me right up for that question. Like, I guess you said it was America, but when he pointed at that flag and I was watching it, I'm not even playing the game, Big Rig, and I got goosebumps. So for a guy who's playing it, like you said, that must have just given you even more of an emotional lift to get the boots going a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was telling the guys that haven't played in one. I was like, dude, this is like the Stanley Cup playoffs. This is like that type of atmosphere of the game, you know, the intensity of it. And, besides playoff hockey, I mean, that's the game you probably mark on your calendar, you know, you look forward to. But yeah, I mean, when he was singing the national anthem on the dugout, I mean, it was sick. Like, he's on top and he's singing and everyone's screaming and yelling, and you know, and it was cool. Like, after he started for 10 seconds, I don't know if you guys noticed this, the fireworks started going, and then they started to roll out the national anthem right on the ice there. So it was cool, like how they did everything, and then obviously the flyover was just, you know, if that doesn't get you going, I don't know what will.
Yeah, I could have given you one shift. I could have given you 37 seconds hard, right, Gage? Chipping up the wall. Do you get it out, Big Rig? Hold the middle, change. I could have given you one shift.
Yeah, I mean, one hard one, that's all you need anyways. Don't turn it over, get it out, get it in, get out.
Can't promise you that, fella. Can't promise you I won't turn it over. Can't promise
He just played an alumni game, and average shift was about 8 seconds long. So I don't think he'd give you 30 seconds. We were at altitude, too. I know you were short, buddy. You would die.
Yeah.
Patty, I was going to ask you this. I was going to ask you this. I played in one outdoor game, and it was a Heritage Classic in Vancouver. And I loved the pre-game stuff with the family and all the stuff you just talked about. But for me, the game wasn't that great. I couldn't get into it. It felt weird. The fans, I couldn't hear the fans. How was the fan set up and all that stuff there?
It was cool. I felt like we were closer because, you know, I don't know if you guys been to Wrigley, but like the outfield's kind of small out there. Right. And like the seats they're right on the field there. And we felt like it was closer to us, obviously. I felt like this one, but yeah, I mean, some of those are hard. Like, it's just like you're literally out there for a practice sometimes because you just hear the puck and you hear the guys on the bench. You don't what else, right? But I felt like this one around, it seemed like it was more, compact in there, and I felt like the fans were closer to us. But Dodger Stadium, we couldn't even hear anything.
Yeah.
And even in Nashville, when we did that one, it just seemed like everyone was so far from us, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, you make a good point there. Sometimes you just hear the puck and the guys, right? Yeah. It's kind of weird.
It felt weird. Like, you're like, what are we doing here? And like that, I enjoyed like the family skate more than the game for myself. But yeah.
No, I agree. Like the family skate's the best part because they get to come on the ice, they get to skate with you, they get to see it. And obviously, they get to see where we're gonna be playing, right? Like this is where we're gonna be at, and like you kind of feel bad for the families too because they don't have good seats either. So like, they can barely see us. So like, my wife, I think, sat in the Wise the whole game with my daughter. So
Smart.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like in Wrigley, if you got the higher seats up top are more expensive than the lower seats because you can see everything up top, right? So if I was that, and it was cool, like Wrigley, they have those bleachers behind Wrigleyville, like in Wrigleyville, like
Across the street there?
Across the street, the people were in there, so that was pretty cool too, to see that. And
sick.
Yeah, I mean, but like you said, like sometimes those games are tough because like you just feel like it's just you and the team, right? And you can't really hear anything.
Yeah. Well, it was good to see those guys throw some hands at least.
Yeah, that's true. We needed something there. We didn't really put on the best performance, but it's kind of shitty because like it's your home ice and your home fans, and you obviously want to go out there and win a hockey game, right? And I was disappointed, but the experience as a whole was great.
It's awesome. Patty, I wanted to ask you, I saw your little clip there. You're walking in off the ice and up and down those clubhouse stairs. And I think you said like, fuck, I think I got my workout in for the day. So how was it walking up and down those stairs into the clubhouse? What were the boys doing pregame? What were they doing?
Legs.
Save the legs. Rest as a weapon. You're like, fuck, got my workout in for the day. But what were the boys doing like in between periods or maybe leading up to the game? Were you hitting any in the just hitting some rocks in terms of getting in the cage and getting some bats on the ball? Or were you kind of just hanging out, chewing on some double bubble? Like, was there any cool things you guys were doing in the clubhouse, taking that all in, or was it pretty much just a normal game day routine?
I would say it's a normal game day routine. For us, it was in baseball, the locker rooms are massive, right? So like they have a sleeping room where they have 3 beds. You can take a nap. Like it's just a huge, huge facility, like massive. Like, and they have those like roller chairs, and that you lean back. So guys were kind of chilling, sitting in there. And but we played soccer for about an hour and a half outside in the rain, so that was fun. Obviously, you get to see the fans, and you're playing in front of them, and they're loving that. But I would say it's just like a normal day routine. But the walk from the clubhouse to the dugout to the rink, it was long. And then you got to battle stairs on the way up too. So with your skates on, but yeah, I would say we just kind of chilled. We got there super early. We all kind of chilled, hung out for a bit, and then we kind of warmed up, and then we got to playing soccer for a long time.
I'll tell you what, I could have used the sleeping room in the dressing room. Sleeping room with a nice touch, right? Where's Obes? He's in the sleep. That's nice. That's nice.
I get it. The guys said they're there from like 12 till game time, so like they're there all day long.
Yeah.
So they have all these cool rooms. They had this other room. They had the kitchen, and then another room in the back. It's like Xbox and like they had cards. Fucking big, massive TVs. Like it was like a fun zone for these guys. And I'm like, there's beer everywhere in the fridge. I'm like, this is completely different than us.
Yeah. I guess when you play 162, you got to make it as nice you can at the clubhouse for the boys. Because when Matt Harvey played out here, we were neighbors, and I would see him every day at about 3 o'clock heading to the fucking yard. I'm like, wow, these guys play every single day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Like every single day. And they said they only maybe get 1 day off a month.
Yeah, that's
like, I was like, that's insane. Like, I was like, I get it. Like, he's like, basically, we got to make these clubhouses like their house.
Yeah.
so they can. And it was cool that he said some of the closers will take a pregame nap until the 6th inning, and then they get a nudge, wake up, and they'll go throw some balls and then get in the game.
We played the wrong.
I was tailor-made for baseball. I should have been a 7th inning reliever. Hey, Obes, time to get up. All right, here we go, boys.
What's the score here?
Yeah, so I was like, holy shit, it's completely different than us. But it was a cool experience, obviously. Like I was telling you guys earlier, like the walkout and everything that comes with the Winter Classic it was special. And it's cool, like you said, Richie, it's just like, it's mostly you want your family to enjoy it, right? And the family skates and, you know, they get to come down, see the ice, walk around. So, you know, I had a ton of people, so I know they really enjoy it. So those games are always fun.
Big Rig, I saw you boys playing 2-touch. You had a little Rocky, you know, from Rocky 4 there when he was over in Russia. You had the towel, you had the zip up. You looked like you were ready to rock. However, I looked at 98 there playing soccer in his flip-flops, and the first thing I questioned is, how's his compete level? If you're wearing flip-flops in an outdoor game playing 2-touch, I don't know if I'm worried about his compete level in the 2-touch game, Big Rig.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of compete. I'll tell you that. His feet are cemented on that ground. Him and Bert wear sandals. I was like, no wonder you guys don't run for balls.
Yeah.
You know, we're grinding out there running, and these guys don't even move. They're in flip-flops. So, no, we've been trying to tell them all year, but they don't listen. We don't. Our 2-touch games are out of control, too.
I'd be going right after him. If I see flip flops, I just see a low compete level. I'm coming right at him. You know what I mean?
Right after the shins. Yeah. Patty, I was going to ask you, like, these outdoor games, and I know we're kind of beating the dead horse with the outdoor stuff here, but last one for me on this. But the outfits, like in the pre-walk-in, you know, choices have become such a big thing, and everyone, you know, highlights that. Who chose your outfits this year? Because I thought you guys were going to go with like some Cubs uniforms or some Harry Carey stuff, but you guys kind of went the old school, heading to the outdoor pond kind of look. Who chose those? And, you know, I'm sure some of the veteran guys or Nick.
Yeah, it was, I think the organization kind of went to Fliggy with the idea. They wanted an idea where because we had, I don't know if you guys saw it, but on our hats and our sweatshirts and our pants, we had charity. We picked like 3 charities event. We put the patches on our hat, our jacket, and we were kind of supporting the men and women that police officers too. So it was a cool idea. I mean, we had some ideas like the Blues Brothers or you know, what else did we throw out there? Or the guy from the baseball guy that
Steve Bart. What was his name? Bartman.
So that would have been funny. We but yeah, we had some ideas. But Fliggy, it was cool. Fliggy came out with it. It was like, hey, listen, like we're playing an outdoor game. Like as kids, like this is what we did. We'd bring our skates or, you know, go to the pond, and it was cool. I liked the idea they came up with. But we had some other ideas, but we just kind of stuck with that one. But I felt bad for the Blues because theirs didn't get shipped in, so they had to go in like Gretzky's basement and go up, get all of his merch and and get ready because they had no clothes. A lot of them they forgot them in St. Louis.
Big Rig, I wanted to ask you, and this goes to your new head coach, Anders Sorensen. He's a guy I played for at the Chicago Mission back in the day, AAA program. He got the call from the Iron League ultimately after Luke Davidson was fired there. And just in terms of, Luke Richardson, but in terms of Anders, and what have you seen from him? You know, he's been a couple weeks now. He's been getting acclimated as your head coach there, but we were talking before, and especially just, you know, at my live show there the past week, you were kind enough to stop by. He seems to me, at least when I was playing for him way back when, he's kind of cut from that John Cooper kind of mold where he's a player's coach, but also at the same time, you know, he can lay it down in terms of, you know, give the fellas a stern talking to, but just an overall great guy and a dude you want to play for. So how's Anders been? How's his first couple of weeks in the National League? There's a guy like you kind of showing him the ropes a little bit, and just in terms of he's got to come to you and ask you a different question or whatnot, but how's he been, fella?
He's been great. I really enjoy him. He's teaching us to move the puck a lot faster. We're playing with more pace. We're transitioning the puck a little faster. He's teaching the offensive side of the game, which obviously we've been lacking our 5-on-5 game a bit, and he's come in and done a really good job of that. And he's a very, very, very smart hockey mind. He's a player's coach, communicates really well with the players. He's obviously he's new, but I can see him having a long career as a head coach. I really like him. He's good. He's hard on the guys. He understands and gets it. And sometimes, a new coach like that's, fresh can, you never know what you're going to get, right? And it seemed like he came in with a lot of confidence and knew right away what he wanted to do with our team. And obviously we haven't had the, results with, we did right away, we won 3 in a row and then we kind of, we went down a little bit, but he's been doing a really good job. Our practices are great. They practice with pace, a lot of work, a lot of battle drills, a lot of, end of the year, end of practice, like 3-on-3s or 2-on-2 drills. So he's been doing a lot of good stuff with us. And, I'm happy he got the call, and he's going to be, like I said, he's going to be a really good coach in this league for a long time.
Big Rick, I got a couple more Winter Classics for you, buddy. Take me out to the ball game. How sick was that when you're down there on the bench and they started to take me out to the ball game, the lead singer Smashing Pumpkins? And second, do you think you get up there and belt out, take me out to the ball game? I think you'd be great at it, Big Rig. So if the Cubs are looking for someone early in the season, I got to throw your hat in the ring, buddy. But how nice was that to hear take me out to the ball game?
Yeah, it was sick. Actually, I was talking to someone and then I started to hear it. I was like, oh, that's sick. So I kind of stood up and started singing a little bit by myself. But yeah, that was neat. Obviously that's a huge tradition in baseball, and to have that guy Smashing Pumpkins guy, I forget the lead singer's name, but to have him sing it was sick. But I mean, you can throw me in the ring. I don't know if I'll be good at it, but I can try.
Yeah, I think you'd bring the energy. And then just the way the internet, the Big Rig, Patty Maroon, they all get up, grab a beer, grab a dog. The Big Rig's coming in to sing. Big Rig, one more for me before I turn over to Rich. I never played in the Winter Classic, nor did I really want to. And now that you've played in 4 of these things, and you're a big boy, and like, how did the body feel out there? Like, is it a normal game? Do you feel this? Like, do you need more flexo on the legs? Do you need how as the bigger boy is it playing out there? Because that's something I never did, and I always, if I would have had to, I would have been worried about it. What's it like as a big guy out there mucking through the elements?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of atomic bomb on the back. But yeah, I mean, it's good. Obviously, I know where I'm at in my career and the minutes I'm getting. So I was soaking some up. I was getting kind of chilly. Yeah. And it's funny, the guys that are playing a lot, they get hot, right? And there's heaters on the bench, and the heaters get so goddamn hot, too. But I kept telling them to turn them up because I was kind of cold. I was sitting there for a bit. But yeah, I mean, a lot of atomic bombs, a lot of heat on the back. But yeah, I mean, listen, we all been there. It's the same approach as any other game. It's just outdoors, right? So, just enjoy those kind of moments, right? And we know, obviously, we all marked on our calendar, like I said before, and it's a game that we should go out there and enjoy, right? And yeah, I just take it as another game approach, I would say, but this time I put a lot of extra a bomb on my back.
That little mix of red hot atomic Flexol,
yeah.
Coffee on the bench, eh? Well, maybe a little Bailey's in there. Throw a little Bailey's in that for me.
Give me an Irish.
Oh, Patty. I just kind of want to touch on, I was on the Coyotes as kind of an older guy, 37. The leadership stuff, and you're getting up there now, and Nick Foligno, who's I think just the ultimate leader. But how's it going with you guys? And you brought in a guy like Alec Martinez I think he's got 3 cups, same as you now. So like, how's that going? I know it's not easy every day, but just maybe touch on that for some people just to understand that a bit.
Yeah, I mean, seems like we should be doing a better job, right? Because obviously where we're at in the standings, and you kind of take onus on yourself a little bit to be a better job and, teach these young guys how to play the right way and, what winning hockey and winning culture is all about and having a good environment in your room. And, but I think you kind of nailed it. Fliggy is the absolute best human being. he's an unbelievable leader, unbelievable family man. He gets it. Him and his wife always go out of the way to make sure everyone's feeling comfortable, and you need guys like that, right? And Marty's been great. He's obviously been around. He's won a lot. He's won 3 also, and our job is to help bring that winning culture back into that organization, right? And then into that locker room. So when we leave, the young guys, understand, and they take that next step and that next approach to when, their team is building and growing as a whole. So, sometimes we look at ourselves as like, shit, are we not doing a good enough job because of where we're at in the standings? So for me, I take it personal. Obviously, like you said, when you get older, you have to turn into that, role-based player, and you kind of know where you're at in your career. So you just got to teach and help and, let these kids understand how hard this game is. And every night's going to be a hard night for a lot of these players, right? So you just got to understand that. And, we're trying to teach that right now. And, but like I said, it's Fleeky's done an amazing job of helping me and helping everyone else. So, you kind of enjoy these you appreciate it more, I guess, I would say, as you get older and as you're getting closer to the end of your career. And you always want to see like guys that if you're playing with on the fourth line get a call up to the first, or they get on the power play, or they get the PK, and you see them get rewarded, and it's kind of fun to see it. And then it makes you feel like you're doing your job a bit, right? And so I love that kind of stuff. And like you said, Rich, when you get older, you have to understand, and you got to understand where you're at in your career.
Yeah, and it's not an easy job. It's underappreciated sometimes, and how hard it is working with these young kids and teaching them how to be an everyday pro. So good on you, Patty. That's not easy.
Patty, I wanted to ask you, Oakville, Missouri, South County, that is St. Louis, baby. The hometown hero won a mug, brought it back to St. Louis after 50-odd years. Brother, was it weird signing with the Hawks right away, seeing that jersey, pulling it over your shoulder pads for the first time? I mean, being a big St. Louis guy, obviously you have tons of family, friends in the St. Louis area. That's who you grew up watching. And then to kind of turn it around and go up north on the 55 there and sign with the Blackhawks. Listen, they're giving you 1.3, bringing you in as a good veteran. But still, was it a little weird putting on that jersey for the first time, just being, not only a fan, but then playing against them for the Blues, bro?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously it's been a big rival, since I've been watching the Blues back in the day, since I grew up watching St. Louis hockey, and I grew up watching the St. Louis Blues, and we hated the Chicago Blackhawks. I'm not going to lie, for being from St. Louis. And but listen, like I told my family, I said, you can never wear anything St. Louis if you come to a St. Louis Blues game. So they listened pretty well going to the Winter Classic. They were all wearing Blackhawk stuff, but it's an original 6 team. Like, there's so much history behind it. The Hall of Famers that came through Chicago, I love their logo. Putting on the jersey means something every time you put that jersey on, because of the history and what they had. And but yeah, I mean, it was a little weird at first when I signed here, because it was like, oh man, I never thought I'd be a Blackhawk. But when you get here and you see it, and you appreciate it more. Obviously, the rival is big in St. Louis, and all my St. Louis buddies were like, oh, I can't root for you. I was like, yeah, you can, because you're going to want a free fucking ticket, are you?
100%.
So I was like, all right, you say that now until you want a fucking ticket, right? But, yeah, I mean, obviously, being from St. Louis, it was a bit weird, just watching the Hawks and the Blues, in playoffs and regular season, the rival they had. But I love it. I love Chicago. I love the organization. I love putting that jersey on. I think it's the best logo in hockey, my personal opinion. But but like I said, that just to put that jersey on is special.
Yeah, they do have the best uniforms. They beat us out 2 years in a row, but every time I looked at their unis, I'm like, fuck, the boys are looking sharp anyways when they're putting us out. But Big Rig, you touched on it a little bit. I just wanted to tag it about last year you get traded to the Boston Bruins, their original 6 team, 100 years, their ceremony they had this year. Now you come to Chicago. You touched on it a little bit, but for a guy who never played on original 6, is it just the history of having an original 6 team, or what does it feel like to put those 2 jerseys on with so much history in both organizations?
No, yeah, it's the history. I think the players that played there and that are retired there that still come around, and you get to see all these guys, and you appreciate it more because you see what they've done, right? And the cups they've won with the Blackhawks and the Bruins, and original 6 team, and the history, like I said before, behind all of it. It makes it that much special every night you put that jersey on, right? Because it's cool. All the alumni are always around with the Hawks and the Bruins, and you just see it, and you see why they built something so special in Boston and Chicago, and you can see why guys love it so much, and it makes you appreciate it that much more, right? Every time you put that jersey on.
Oh, Patty, I kind of wanted to bring it back a little bit and just talk about, I was only, lucky enough to win 1 cup, and I knew, that playing that much hockey and then partying all summer and going to the parties. You did it 3 goddamn years in a row. How the hell did you do it? First off, I'm in awe of that. And I mean, it's a special one that I don't even know who's ever done that before, but I just maybe touch on that and how your body got through that and still playing.
Well, the first one was tough. We went like a 2-week bender. It was a grind that summer to get back to work. Because, like when you win, there's so much shit going on. Like there's something going on. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday night. Like there's always something going on. The cup stays for a bit. But we went, because our parade was, I think, on a Friday or maybe I don't know, but we had like a week. So when we won in Game 7 in Boston, we partied in the locker room for a bit till like 3. We land, we meet our families at the rink because they put the bar open till like 6 a.m. And then we went from there, we called Jim O'Brien. I don't know if you guys ever been to O.B. Clark's in St. Louis. We go there from 6, and then people got wind of it. We had the cup, and obviously O'Reilly won the Conn Smythe that year, so we stayed there. It was me, Steiner, O'Reilly, and Billy Husso, which was our 3rd goalie that year. It's just us 4, and then all the players started waking up and then started coming over. That's when that iconic picture when all the fans were outside the bar and Prank was in the middle with them with the cup. So that was the start of the 2-week bender. And then we went from the parade to the bus to the PJ to Vegas. We went straight from the parade right to the bus to the PJ to Vegas to keep going. And you know who we saw? Obi, were you there? No, Uppy was there, right?
Yeah, I think Uppy and Flowers tagged Flowers. I was watching NHL Network, and they were showing you boys coming off your bird in fucking Vegas, and it was like and then boom, there's Larry Flowers with his like rolly bag walking in with the boys. I'm like, holy fuck, this is too much.
Flowers thought he won the cup with us. He was on stage with us. Everyone's like, why the fuck is he on fucking stage with us right now?
I was like, you're disrespecting every guy who didn't win that cup. I'm like, I'm going to knock you out the next time I see you, Flowers. I'm like, I'm going to drop you.
Like, Doug Armstrong's like, who is this guy? Like, why is he up here? But yeah, it was good. Like, St. Louis was fun because I'm from St. Louis, grew up obviously a Blues fan, and my dad had season tickets, so to be a part of it, there's one thing I wish we did take back is not go to Vegas, because I thought the city was buzzing.
Yeah.
It was the first time in 50 years, like it was electric. Like we went to Vegas and everyone was just like, fuck this, because I think if it would have stayed in St. Louis, we would have had more time with the cup, right? Because the NHL awards were literally right after that. So we went to Vegas, and all of us decided to leave on Sunday after the pool party. We were like, fuck, let's just get out of here. So that kind of like sucked a little bit. I wish we would have stayed and partied with more of the fans and like took the cup more around the bars and local spots, because we did that in Tampa. Like in COVID, it was obviously weird in the bubble, but when we got back, Florida was wide open, so it didn't really matter, right? So we just partied with this thing, like literally, it felt like a month, and like the cup stayed because it was COVID, and guys were doing their cup party in Tampa. You could do it, but you had to do it in Tampa. So guys were just like, screw the cup parties. Let's just keep doing what we're doing. We don't need a cup party. Like, so that was fun. You know, we're all getting COVID. We're all fucking sick, and we're still grinding. Guys are still going out. Hey, they're like, alcohol will just kill. Let's just keep going, boy. Just keep passing it around to each other. So yeah, that was fun. And then obviously the boat parade, and obviously it's the first time that's ever happened. And but yeah, man, I was hurting on the third one. Even after the fourth cup run, I was like, holy fuck, boys. Like, this is a lot of hockey and a lot of booze. I was like, we got to be exhausted. Everyone's like, fuck, no shit. We're fucking tired. We just went to three cups in a row with the same group of guys, and like, guys were just fucking gassed. They're like, thank God we didn't win again. But obviously we wanted to win. But yeah, I mean, all of them were different. Partied like an animal. But like you said, you have to enjoy it. Like, you just don't know when you're ever going to go back to the playoffs. You don't know when you're going to even come close to winning the cup, right? So yeah. I think the most important thing is just go out there and enjoy it. It's your only hall pass from your wife. It's the only green light you get, so you might as well fucking take it right away, right? Well, yeah. Just go let loose and go on a bender, you know?
When you retire, you're gonna look forward to your reunions. You're gonna have a lot of reunions back to backs.
Yeah,
to get some free passes.
Have you guys done your reunion? Has it been 10 years?
We did 10 years. Yeah, it was we won in 2012, so we did it.
You guys beat us in the second round? Is that the year you guys went on to win? And
well, yeah, I won the first one 12, and we won. Then they won again in 14. I left that year, but
okay.
Yeah, I left that year, but
yeah, I can't wait for the reunions.
The reunions are so much fun because some of those guys you haven't seen in forever, right? So that's just how life works. But
yeah, I know everyone gets busy and kids and fucking move all over the place now. But yeah, I can't wait for that. Those reunions are going to be a blast. But you know, like all those cup runs were completely different. But you know, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I made sure to enjoy it because you never know, right? You never know when you're going to go back. You never know if you're going to ever win the Stanley Cup again. So you got to take the time. And like I said, you get the green light. Might as well go full throttle, right?
That's it, buddy. %. Full tilt, full time. Patty, my last one for you, bro. I know, just dating back to playing with you a little bit in St. Louis, you are a little bit of a karaoke king yourself. So I wanted to ask you, and let the people know, have you found a spot in Chi-Town to maybe rip it a little bit, get on the mic, maybe do a song like you famously do, Little Ghetto Cowboy Fella by Bone Tugs and Harmony? Have you showed younger guys like Bedard or some of these guys the ropes of like, hey, you got to be able to get on the mic and you got to have a presence when you're up there. It's all about stage presence, baby.
No, I agree. No, dude, I haven't found any karaoke spot, which I'm shocked because I'm sure there's a ton in Chicago. I'm sure there's a ton. I haven't got. We did sing karaoke though. We got a karaoke machine at the Ugly Sweater Party, so that was fun. I got on there right away. First song, Who Knew the Bullfish, Let Her Cry. Open up the spoons a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
That is a
staple,
classic.
Big Rig.
Yeah, it's a staple. Anytime I'm at karaoke, I have to sing that one because that's the only one I don't need to look at the screen.
Yes. Yeah. And then
So I
full on rock star.
Yeah, but me and you, fuck, we killed it, eh? So we used to go to this. We used to go to this spot in the Loop. Is it the Loop? Yeah, the Loop.
Delmar Loop.
This karaoke bar. You get your own room, and it's like service, and they close the door and they bring you beer, and you sit there. We felt like we were goddamn rock stars. And we would all fucking get up there and sing a song together. It was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, man.
It was this dating back on that. It was you know, like I gotta send. Francesca has all the videos of us doing that. It was just so it was just so funny because we all thought we were so good and we were fucking terrible. But but yeah, we used to go to this place all the time, and it was a blast, man. There's nothing better than karaoke.
No, and that spot, Patty, like you said, it was like basically like your own bottle service private room back there, so you could get like 10 to 15 people and anything goes, and then at the same time you just dial in all your songs. So obviously you're going to lead with maybe a little Bone Thugs and Harmony, then I'm coming right back in your chin and I'm giving you a little George Strait, check yes or no. So just get it flowing, baby. That was the best. And they just you bring anyone in there and there's just your own rules inside of a bar. It was crazy.
It was nuts. Oh man, those were good times, man. Dude, we sing everything.
Oh yeah, we're that was a full set. That was a 4 or 5 hour set.
Oh yeah, it was a set. We got fucking 40 songs in there quickly. Francesca's coming back with Eminem. Dude,
Yes,
she was.
percent.
Oh god, that was awesome.
We might need to see that footage, Big Rig. If you could track it down, we might have to see that.
I'll send it over to you guys. You guys can do something with it. I just got to see Francesca because she was when I was going on the show for hockey night in Canada or Arizona, whatever you do. And she's like, God, you got to tell him I said hi, and I forgot to tell her. But I was like, send me those videos because she has all of them from that time. It was me, you, Eddie. Who else was going in there?
I think
Thomas,
Sanford maybe too.
Stanford,
Yeah.
Fabs.
Yes, Dunner maybe too. Yeah, that was Thunder. Yeah, it was a full on trap house in there, Chris.
No rules, anything well.
Cage match.
Oh my god.
That's good team building right there. But Big Rig, man, thank you so much for taking the time, buddy. You're great for the game, as we all know. Keep it going, buddy. We enjoy watching you. And like I said, thank you, my man, for taking the time.
Hey, thanks, boys. I appreciate it again. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Welcome back to Missin Curfew. Thank you to the Big Rig, Patty Maroon, 3-time Stanley Cup champ, glue guy, team guy, just all-around beauty. It's always nice talking to him, Rich, and catching up with a good veteran guy like the Big Rig.
He's honestly hilarious. What a legend this guy is. 3 cups in a row, unheard of, and just a fantastic guy, all-around good guy. So thanks for coming on, Patty.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Patty Maroon, 3-peat Maroon. He played in 4 finals, boys, all in a row. Unbelievable. Still getting it done. Still getting paid $1.3 this year from the Blackhawks. So 37 he's going to be at the end of the season. Instilling a little bit of that just cagey veteran insight to all those young guys in Chicago. But awesome awesome to talk to him. Just right off a nap and just comes in and just starts letting the big dog eat. So that was awesome.
Yeah, 4 finals in a row, eh? That is crazy. That is absolutely insane. I mean, I only got to the second round 3 years in a row. And after the second round, Richie, I was spent. I'm like, well, that was, And to do it 4 years.
It's a toll on you. And then, and then the further you get into the summer, you still want to have some time to unwind and have some fun. And then all of a sudden you're getting back into the season again. Like, he would have had 0 time to train for the season or even get your mind wrapped around starting the season again. It's a grind, man. It's impressive.
Yeah, and for a bigger guy like the Big Rig is, I mean, for him, he's got to put in extra work and get the extra bike rides in and grab the short fork in August. And, for him to be continuing to play when realistically every rule they've made has gone against the way he played the game. He's found a way to continue to hang in there. And the one thing about the Big Rig is he's got good hands and he can make plays. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he certainly does. He's got that knack of being. He's smart enough to around the net. He can make all those little soft plays. He controls the puck really well. And yeah, you got to give it to him. He said it really well. It's not easy. They made it really hard for these big guys to play, and guys aren't speedsters. So man, it's impressive to play in your late 30s. Man, it's not easy.
No.
And what was that goal he had, boys, in his first mug? It was St. Louis. He scored.
Oh, he scored the Western Conference
OT.
Yeah, Western Conference final.
He sent him to the finals, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, arguably the biggest goal that season for St. Louis Blues. And people were even saying that was the biggest goal in their franchise history to that point. I mean, to send their team into the Western Conference finals and they shit-kicked Man Jose and then ultimately won the mug. But yeah, people forget about that. That was a massive goal.
That was a tight series. And Richie, you know this. You won one. You need so many things to go your way. And I remember Cogliano, who if he just would have done a few more wrist curls, he had an unbelievable chance in, I think, the first overtime and fumble fucked it and missed it. And then the second one, the Big Rig banged one in from inside the blue paint. That's how tight it was, Rich.
Well, it wasn't a right off a face-off play or something. It was
a little play. Right? Went to the net and the Big Rig kind of fucking.
He went right to Patty Maroon's area and scored.
Yeah.
I remember he was really emotional after that. I think that goal meant. I mean, I'm sure that's his biggest goal he's ever scored. I'm sure that meant a lot for his, home city, his home team. It's crazy.
And the sickest thing about after he scored, too, boys, is he obviously went down the choo-choo train to, high five, and everyone's all goofed up and they come on the ice and celebrate. But right after that, he went and hugged Chief. And that's what I remember. And just like the emotional response from even the head coach and Chief being the man, he just like a big bear hug those two had. And it was a cool moment. So that's Patty Maroon, though, man. He's just his whole career found a way to win.
Yeah, he's a glue guy. So thank you to Patty Maroon, the Big Rig, for joining us. That was Missin Curfew, fellas.